Welcome to Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous. I'm Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo, your host. A new Star Citizen Live posted yesterday discussing some of the changes coming to the cargo system in Star Citizen. CIG is labeling this the Cargo Refactor. There were two prerequisites for the implementation of Phase 1 of the Cargo Refactor. Those being physicalized inventory, which took place a while ago, and the second one is persistent entity streaming. Persistent entity streaming has been the focus of many of the different subjects inside Star Citizen and Star Citizen Live over the past few months. We haven't heard a lot about this Cargo Refactor until yesterday. And in that Cargo Refactor, they discussed the fact that we were only moving around the 1/8 SCU boxes up until now. The 1 SCU boxes were limited in the past. Our handheld tractor beams would not be able to move them. They will in this version of the game, 3.18. That means that there's a lot more fun to be had when ships start blowing up. More profits for pirates. To fully understand the Cargo Refactor, we have to first understand where we are now. At this point, although we see 1 SCU boxes inside of our ship, only 1/8 SCU boxes will ever spawn. Shown here, falling from the sky as this caterpillar was blown up by pirates. In this example, if every single box was to spawn on the destruction of this ship, we would have 4,600 different 1/8 SCU boxes falling from the sky. That would be a huge hit to performance. CIG, through whatever funny math they use, has reduced this to about 10% of the boxes being generated when a ship is blown up. Some of them are just lost due to being exploded, and others are reduced because of the hit to performance on the game. Now, while this funny math protects our frame rate, it also destroys the profit from selling our ill-gotten booty. Now, I know I'm really taking the pirate end to this, but there's also derelicts and other crashed vessels that are going to spawn these boxes. And if you go around any of the derelicts right now, all the boxes are these 1/8 boxes. There really isn't a lot of profit in bringing them back and selling them. Maybe if you bring back a couple of boxes, maybe 10 or 12, you're going to make 500 to 1,000 credits, and that's not really worth the time it takes to carry each and every one of them and place it inside your ship. So with the new system, the 1 SU boxes are going to be generated. And with what Chris is saying, they're going to find a way to put these inside the ship, so you'd have to search around the ship to find them and carry them out. It does mean that we have a little bit longer time in finding these. That instead of just the ship exploding and disappearing, these boxes being everywhere, the ship will stay there and you'll have to go and find the cargo hold and then bring them out and put them in your ship. I am hoping that they give us a dolly, that they give us some kind of hover cart that makes this easier. Maybe one that could fit 4 SCU of cargo on it, and then we can move that into our ship. I like this system. It brings us something that is well needed in the game. Better profitability from either piracy or from finding those boxes and those derelicts. And this is something that is really needed at this point, because this game is supposed to be about all the different diverse things that you could do in the game. And with salvage coming and finding these derelicts around, hopefully we'll be able to find these 1 SCU boxes. Now, the Cargo Refactor is not done after Phase 1. It's going to go on. Future phases of the Cargo Refactor will include loading and unloading your ship. New technology is also being introduced in the game to see exactly where that cargo is going to fit inside of our ship. This is going to create a little bit of tedium in the game, but it's all about making this game as realistic as possible. And sometimes that enhances gameplay, and sometimes it's just going to make it feel like you have a job. And so that's why we will always have the option of paying somebody else in the game or an NPC to load and unload our ships. So that's the Cargo Refactor in a nutshell. So let's move on to my next subject, which is going to be very short, sweet, and it's going to be about building out the Star Citizen universe. There's a lot of controversy here, a lot of statements by different people talking about it's never going to happen. A couple of years ago, CIG signed a contract with Turbulent. Turbulent is going to start building out the star system. And Turbulent's job is to build them out in the vision of Chris Roberts and what the lore says these places are. or what the lore will say they are, because lore is in flux at this point. So the first 9 years of development, CIG has used to create the Star engine, at first using pieces of CryEngine and then pieces of Lumberyard. I'm going to go a little bit off topic for the next portion of my video. I'm going to talk about building out the verse, the whole verse, all 100 planets. There's a lot of negative comments here saying that we're going to be waiting years for the verse to be fully fleshed out. Yeah, it might be years, but not the 15 that some people are saying. A couple of years ago, CIG and Turbulent formed a partnership to start building out the verse. This partnership announcement actually signaled that the tools for developing out the planets were completed. It's something that CIG has been working on for some time, and something that we're going to be able to use in the future. They call this tool RaStar. Why am I excited about it? Well, like I said, some people out there are saying it's going to take 15 years, but RaStar enables them to build out very believable and highly detailed outposts very quickly. Building the verse is a huge undertaking, and RaStar allows them to build out different planetary POIs and outposts very quickly as maybe building a factory inside of a game like Satisfactory. I know that's one of the things that they were looking at because I've had conversations in the past with Chris, and the Satisfactory reference is one that he's used. So I'm very excited about this, and I can't wait to start seeing different POIs pop up around Pyro when we get in there next year. And for those of you who say they're not working on Nyx, they're working on Nyx. And they also have the development sketches and timeline for the systems after that. I have a feeling we're going to start seeing systems in a rapid pace, but I won't commit to a certain number of systems each year. What I'll say, it'll be at least 2. Yeah, that makes you think 50 years to get 100 star systems. But I think it will snowball as time goes on. As long as Chris doesn't start looking at things and want to make them perfect so we could see each individual grain of sand. And that's where I want to end my little review of yesterday's ISC. I don't want to get too deep into RaStar because while it's really cool, the net effect of RaStar, while there are some of them inside of the game right now, I think we see it when we see Pyro later next year. Before I end, I want to talk a little bit about the enablers. Back when I started starcitizenaa Anonymous, it became apparent that we needed to get a group, an organization formed from the supporters of the Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous community. And we started the enabler. We have about 200 plus members, but have become less active because of my absence from the game. I'd love to restart this org, or at least build it up again, and start having org events and having fun in the game. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more coming to Star Citizen over the next year, and there's going to be a lot more fun to have in-game. So if you want to join us, look for us in the organization pages over on robertspaceindustriescom and send us your application. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up button below. If you're a subscriber or intend on subscribing, please click the bell-shaped icon below so you get notified of all my future videos. There is a way that you can help support Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous, and that's by going to my Patreon page at patreon.com/Batgirl. And with that said, you all be safe out there, and I will talk to you soon.